So, Mike, what is going on with your former coach in New England? Because, my God, man, it's making a spectacle out of things.
It's disheartening to the point that we don't usually talk football on this show, much to Casey Day's chagrin.
Well, yeah.
But I wanted to talk about this because it's gotten so out of control. And I'll tell you the first thing that really bugs me. It's not even her. I bet she makes people call her Jordan. It's Jordon. What really annoys me is that people are doing it. I heard like some of the Barstool people do it. They're like, and they're not mocking it when they say it. They're going, so Jordan Hudson was in this Belichick interview. No, don't give her that. It's Jordan. Jordon is still Jordan. It's an odd way to spell it, but it's not Hudson.
No.
It's very stupid to pronounce her name that way. So that's point one of contention with me. Mm-hmm. But we were obviously out last week, and we probably wouldn't have even had the time wouldn't have worked. We wouldn't have been talking about it last week. So I wanted to at least acknowledge it here. This interview that everyone's talking about with Bill Belichick featuring Jordan Hudson on CBS. We leave you this Sunday morning. Is Charles Osgood still with us?
Believes. Oh, God, that's a good question.
The sounds
Electra?
of a babbling brook.
Google that for us.
Well, Charles Osgood and the guys on CBS Sunday Morning had this interview with Belichick, and I'm sure you've seen it already, but here it is again.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson. His
damn it, Electra!
He's passed. Damn.
Sorry.
This is a somber day here.
Jesus. Charles Osgood, too? We have to grieve him now?
Creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that's the
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
That is the Belichick I've seen my entire lifetime. My entire cognitive lifetime. That's Belichick. He just goes, I don't know. I'm not talking about it.
He could be describing the Pittsburgh offensive coordinating system right now. Yeah.
That could be him talking about any subject. And I said earlier in the week, if there's a Hall of Fame for men who don't answer questions, men who 100%. Tell the media to fuck themselves, there's a Bill Belichick statue on your way in. He's the great. He might be better at not answering questions than he is at coaching football.
100%.
So why he needs this, what we're about to hear, it blows your mind. And I think you see two different schools here. You see like people nationally that are like, oh, this is pretty crazy. Bill Belichick's getting dragged around by this girl who's 50 years younger than him. And then you have Patriots fans that are like, what's happening? What are you doing, Bill? What's going on? I don't want to think of this great man in this way. It's disheartening.
Yeah, but it was cute when Tom Brady was getting her like rent-a-cars, but now it's getting a little dark.
Well, I'll tell you something about Brady though. Brady can get whatever he's doing to his face, and he can be mediocre in the broadcast booth, whatever. Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, but there wasn't like a mystique to Brady. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We kind of always knew he wanted to be a celebrity. You know, he's always been a bit of a dork. Well, he had the weird stuff with his diet and plyometrics and all that stuff. But Brady's always been weird. So if Brady was dating some young girl that was running his life, we'd be like, oh, right on schedule. Yes. This is Bill Belichick. This is Red Auerbach. This is like one of not just one of the greats, but an old school guy who had mystique to him, and he's eviscerating that in his 70s. It's upsetting to watch. And by all accounts, I don't watch a lot of CBS Sunday Morning, but them saying Jordan was a constant presence in this interview, I guess for that show, that's the equivalent of like 60 Minutes showing up at your house and questioning you in your living room. Like they don't do that a lot. They don't call people out or anything. So I guess for them to do that, she must have been a nightmare. You've heard the Hard Knocks thing by now, I'm sure.
Oh yes, yes. Yes. And I'm hearing stories out of North Carolina too, in the college football circles, that are like frightening.
Think of the people HBO has dealt with. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, murder.
Even just with Hard Knocks, they've dealt with Jerry Jones and all these like crazy personalities. Imagine how unbearable you have to be. And now part of it is she's a 24-year-old with no resume. She has no background in this field or anything. So part of it is just like, well, you're not going to tell me what to do. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But how unbearable she must have been to deal with for HBO to say, you know what? We're just not going to do the show. How's that? We had a unique and innovative idea to follow a college team with this legendary coach, and we're not going to do that because you are fucking annoying.
I think the question we have to ask here, Mike, is how good is it? Because this was a man that couldn't, like 6'8", 400-pound men couldn't break him. This little girl has broken him in a pussy whipped way that I've never seen.
She must suck him so dry that you can't wrap your mind around. It's a feeling I've never experienced for sure. Because there's no one. To your point, like Belichick's a guy who would watch someone else go through this and roll his eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not a lifestyle he seemed to envy. Again, I don't know the man. Maybe he's always secretly been like this, but it just seems so against what we know of Bill Belichick. But we haven't gotten to the best part of the interview yet. So,
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
hey,
It's a time.
hey, lady, he made a career of that. Let him do it, and we're not talking about it.
She is cock blocking the greatest cock blocker of all time.
Wow.
The irony.
And here's the problem is like, I get people are like, hey, well, we're talking about it. Maybe it'll move some units. Maybe it'll sell books.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck that's interested in Jordan Hudson is going to go, I'd like to hear Belichick break down the 3-4 defense. Let me hear what he says about nickel packages in his new literature.
I think
No,
neither one.
the crossover is literally no one. There's no one that's interested in this lady's Instagram that's also going to buy Belichick's wonky football book.
Yeah. Yeah, she's spicy. You remember she wore the Atlanta T-shirt, the 34-0, down 34-0 T-shirt. Like she's kind of or 23. She's a little bit of a troll. I watch college football. Leave me alone.
Well, but here's the thing: if she's trolling, like, if she's trolling, I guess she's doing a good job, because if she let Belichick answer that question, no one's talking about this.
No.
If he said, we're not talking about that today, it would just be one of 40 million Belichick answers we've heard like that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
One
shock
of
it.
them.
The weird thing was, I heard people criticize like the holes in his shirt and shit. I don't get that. He's always done that.
That's his brand.
That's his thing. It is here is where she dresses him.
She does.
She's the Bill Belichick mascot now.
That's one of the things I'm hearing from North Carolina, is that she'll run on the field and like fix his clothes in front of the student body.
Kirk has been joking, like, well, maybe it's not joking, maybe he's serious, but Kirk's been saying she's going to be on the sidelines this season.
Mm-hmm. She's calling plays. 100%.
And I was like, haha, obviously not. Until I realized, like, as I said, he might be better at not answering questions, and she's right there over his shoulder. I actually don't think that's a far-fetched idea, that she's on the sidelines.
What if like 10 years from now she's like defensive coordinator at Detroit or something? She just learned enough from Belichick where she's in the
She
league
moves
now.
on. She actually gets a gig. And you're like, she's not bad. She's not bad.
Is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan, where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
Oh, does that hurt me to hear? Oh my God! If you grew up a Celtics fan and Larry Bird was doing this, like I don't know how to get people. There honestly there are finite examples of who I could compare this to, because Belichick is especially in this day and age, an incredibly rare guy that had mystique. Like DiCaprio still kind of has mystique because he's not on social media and shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But in the social media era, people don't have that anymore. You see way too much of people. And Bill at 73 said, "Let me throw my hat in the ring. Let's ruin everything I've built."
I'm going to need him to get up on the whiteboard with those X's and O's and show me what she does in the bedroom, because how did she neuter this guy?
It has to be so good that
me too.
It has to be so good that Belichick describing it would make you come. You know what I mean? Like it has to be unreal.
Belichick
doing that shirt. Like, how many holes does he need?
Well, so
He's
that's the thing.
her holes.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the thing, though, Electra. That's what he's always done, is worn like ratty clothes and the sleeves cut off and all that shit. But what is enraging about this is, like, he got that hoodie a week ago.
It's distressed.
You know what I mean? Now it's like, hey, I'm Bill Belichick. Remember the thing I did before?
Mm-hmm. She's like, we should brand that, honey.
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
that mean?
Exactly.
Nothing. Let me do it.
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of
There
photos.
he is.
There's another
There's
one
the
where you're doing
cunt. There's the cunt we loved for 25 fucking years. Just be a smug prick to this guy. That's all he needed.
Guy's a foot away. What'd you say? I love Bill.
I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet, and she's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
There he is.
Okay.
That's all he needed to do. But for her, I wonder how many. So the rumor is also that I guess she did that even with football questions. You know, like this guy says, "Bill, how are you gonna, how are you gonna motivate these young guys? North Carolina is more known for basketball. How are you gonna inspire this to be a football organization down there in North Carolina?" And this broad steps in and goes, "He's not talking about that." It's like, fuck you, lady. He'll not talk about it on his own. He'll give us nothing without you.
There are players on his team, graduate players, that are older than his girlfriend. Think about that. It's
probably true. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. All right, Mike, we got some super chats here.
That just one more thing. That was the thing, is like, it was a story where people were like, "Oh my God, it's crazy. She's 50 years younger than him. Isn't that wild?" And that was the story. And she has stepped in and said, "Oh, no. The story is that I'm fucking nuts. It's not just my age. It's also that I'm insane and I want to run this man's life." So that's going to blow up. And it actually will. If this is like a years-long battle, if North Carolina is good, it probably goes away. Like if they go 11-2 this season or something.
They won't be. That's not going to happen.
But if they are.
Yeah, it's the ACC, so maybe.
But like if they're a disaster and then the family is already shitting on her, this could get really ugly. And it saddens me for old Bill.
We're all praying for that. Everyone outside of Boston is praying for that.
I know.
We watched you guys have way too much fun for a decade, and now we're sort of enjoying it.
Right.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Krager's did it.